What if I told you that the way you find your next job is about to change forever? What if the skills that got you hired yesterday could become completely worthless tomorrow? And what if one company is positioning itself to control not just how we work, but who gets to work at all? OpenAI just announced something that could reshape the entire global job market. They're building what's being called LinkedIn for AI, a revolutionary hiring platform powered by ChatGPT, backed by Walmart, and announced at the White House, with a promise to certify 10 million Americans by 2030. But as billions pour in from big tech and paranoia grips the company's leadership, we need to ask, is this the future of work or the most sophisticated power grab in Silicon Valley history? I'm about to take you deep inside this story, from the boardrooms of Washington to the conspiracy theories brewing within OpenAI itself, because what's happening here isn't just about jobs. It's about who controls the economy of tomorrow. Let me start with what actually happened. 3 days ago, Sam Altman stood in the White House alongside Tim Cook, Sundar Pichai, and Satya Nadella, announcing OpenAI's new AI-powered jobs platform. But this isn't just another LinkedIn competitor. This is something fundamentally different, a system that uses artificial intelligence to match workers with jobs based on their proven AI skills, certified through OpenAI's own testing program. Here's how it works. Instead of just claiming you know ChatGPT, you'll have verifiable badges from OpenAI proving you've mastered everything from basic prompt engineering to advanced AI workflow optimization. The platform then uses this data to connect you directly with employers who need exactly those skills. It's like having a personal AI recruiter that understands both your capabilities and market demand better than any human ever could. But the scale of this ambition is what's truly staggering. OpenAI isn't talking about helping a few thousand tech workers. They want to certify 10 million Americans by 2030. To put that in perspective, that's roughly the entire population of Michigan learning AI skills in just 6 years. It sounds impossible until you understand how they're planning to do it. The secret weapon is Walmart, America's largest private employer, with 1.6 million workers, has already signed on as a launch partner. From cashiers to corporate executives, Walmart employees will get free access to OpenAI's certification program. The retail giant's CEO has made it clear, the future of retail depends on combining human intelligence with artificial intelligence. AI handles the routine tasks: inventory management, shift scheduling, supply chain optimization, while humans focus on customer service and creative problem solving. But Walmart is just the beginning. OpenAI has locked in partnerships with John Deere, Boston Consulting Group, Accenture, Indeed, and even state governments like Delaware and Texas. The Texas Association of Business alone represents thousands of employers who are preparing to use this platform to find AI-skilled workers. When you add up all these partnerships, that 10 million target starts looking less like fantasy and more like inevitability. What's fascinating is the timing of this announcement. It happened during an AI education summit led by First Lady Melania Trump, where Altman publicly thanked President Trump for being a pro-business, pro-innovation president. This is a dramatic shift for Altman, who wasn't exactly aligned with Trump during his first presidency. But the political calculus is crystal clear. Trump's administration is loosening regulations around data centers, cutting through, permitting red tape, and creating policies that benefit big tech. OpenAI wants to stay on the right side of that power. And they're not alone in this political courtship. Microsoft pledged $4 billion in cash and AI services to education, promising free access to Copilot for every college student in America. Google's Pichai announced a $1 billion commitment to AI-powered education over the next 3 years. Even Mark Zuckerberg and Bill Gates were there, sitting at dinner with Trump, showing their allegiance to the new administration's vision. Notably, absent was Elon Musk, who sent a representative after clashing with Trump earlier this year. This absence speaks volumes about the complex web of relationships and rivalries shaping the AI industry. Because while these tech titans were pledging billions at the White House, behind the scenes, a different kind of battle is raging. This brings me to what might be the most important context for understanding OpenAI's jobs platform. We're witnessing the biggest wealth creation spree in recent history, and it's all powered by AI. CNBC called it unprecedented, and the numbers are mind-bending. Just this year, dozens of new AI billionaires have emerged from seemingly nowhere. Michael Intrator from CoreWeave is now worth about $6 billion. Alexander Wang and Lucy Guo from Scale AI are both in the billion-dollar club, with Wang running Meta's new superintelligence lab after Meta pumped $14.3 billion into Scale AI. Then there are the OpenAI alumni who left to build their own empires. Dario Amodei co-founded Anthropic, which is now valued at over $40 billion, with Claude having more than 105 million monthly users. Ilya Sutskever's Safe Superintelligence raised funding at a $30 billion valuation just months after launch. Mira Murati left OpenAI to found Thinking Machines Lab, which raised $2 billion from NVIDIA and AMD before even launching their first product. This exodus of talent from OpenAI to create competing companies creates a fascinating paradox. OpenAI trains the world's best AI minds, who then leave to become their biggest competitors. It's like Harvard Business School watching their top graduates launch companies that compete directly with Harvard's consulting services. This dynamic is partly why OpenAI's jobs platform is so strategic. They're trying to maintain control over the talent pipeline even as their own people leave to start rivals. But here's where the story takes a darker turn. According to multiple reports, some of OpenAI's top executives have become convinced that there's a coordinated effort to destroy their company. They believe there's an alliance involving Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, and investors tied to rivals like Anthropic, all working together to bring down OpenAI. This paranoia has already turned into aggressive legal action. A small nonprofit in Washington called EndCode suddenly found itself hit with a subpoena from OpenAI's lawyers. Nathan Calvin, their lawyer, said he received strange calls for days before a sheriff showed up at his door with legal paperwork demanding they hand over any communications with Musk or Zuckerberg about OpenAI. The problem? Calvin says those documents don't exist. EndCode had simply filed a legal brief supporting some of Musk's arguments in his lawsuit against OpenAI's shift to a for-profit model. To OpenAI's lawyers, this looks like evidence of a hidden conspiracy. To the nonprofits on the receiving end, it looks like Silicon Valley paranoia run amok. When you're launching a platform meant to help millions of people with their careers, this kind of defensive behavior raises serious questions about judgment and leadership stability. The irony is stark. While OpenAI is positioning itself as the solution to America's workforce challenges, internally the company appears to be consumed by fears of enemies everywhere. This isn't just corporate drama. It has real implications for whether they can execute on their massive promises. But let's zoom out and look at what this all means for the actual future of work. Because beneath all the politics and paranoia, there's a genuine economic transformation happening that affects every single person watching this video. Dario Amodei, now CEO of Anthropic but formerly OpenAI's co-founder, has warned that up to 50% of entry-level white-collar jobs could vanish by 2030. That's not some distant sci-fi scenario. That's 6 years from now. Customer service representatives, data entry clerks, basic analysts, junior copywriters, routine programmers. Millions of jobs that exist today may simply disappear. But here's what's interesting. While AI eliminates certain jobs, it's also creating entirely new categories of work that didn't exist 5 years ago. AI trainers who curate data and improve model performance, human-AI interaction designers who optimize how people work with AI systems, AI auditors who ensure these systems meet safety and ethical standards, prompt engineers who craft the perfect instructions to get AI to do exactly what businesses need. The challenge is that these new jobs require skills that traditional education systems aren't teaching. Universities are still figuring out what AI literacy even means, while businesses desperately need people who can hit the ground running. This gap between supply and demand is exactly what OpenAI is trying to capture with their platform. From a business strategy perspective, it's brilliant. They're not just building a jobs board, they're positioning themselves as the gatekeeper of AI competency. If your career depends on having recognized AI skills, and OpenAI controls the certification process, they essentially control access to the new economy. It's like owning the driver's license office in a world where everyone needs to drive, but this level of control comes with enormous risks, both for OpenAI and for society. Let's talk about what could go wrong. First, there's the bubble risk. AI job demand is exploding right now. But bubbles always burst. We've seen this pattern before with dot-com jobs in 2000, social media specialists in 2010, and blockchain developers in 2018. When the hype cycle turns, demand can evaporate overnight. If OpenAI scales up to train millions of people and then the AI job market contracts, they'll have created a massive workforce with suddenly worthless skills. Second, there's the quality control problem. Training 10 million people in 6 years means processing about 4,500 people every single day. At that scale, maintaining meaningful standards becomes nearly impossible. Are we talking about rigorous certification that actually proves competency, or rubber-stamp credentials that make people feel qualified without adding real value? The difference matters enormously for both employers and workers. Third, there's the speed of change issue. AI technology is evolving so rapidly that skills learned today may be obsolete in 6 months. GPT-4 prompt engineering techniques are already different from GPT-3 approaches. When GPT-5 or whatever comes next launches, how much of the current curriculum will still be relevant? OpenAI will need to constantly update their entire program while somehow maintaining consistency in their credentials. But perhaps the biggest risk is geopolitical. By focusing exclusively on American workers, OpenAI is essentially saying that AI competency will be an American advantage. Other countries won't sit still for this. China is already developing competing AI education programs through Baidu and ByteDance. The European Union is crafting their own AI skills initiatives. India, with its massive tech workforce, is launching government-backed AI training programs. What we're witnessing is the beginning of an AI talent war between nations. Countries are realizing that whoever controls AI education and certification will have a massive economic advantage. OpenAI's platform isn't just a business venture, it's a geopolitical weapon. This has profound implications for global labor markets. If US workers get systematically better AI training through OpenAI's platform, American companies will have access to more qualified talent. This could accelerate brain drain from other countries as top international talent moves to the US to access these opportunities. Countries that don't develop equivalent programs risk being left behind in the AI economy. For smaller countries like those in Southeast Asia, this presents a real dilemma. They can't easily create competing platforms with OpenAI's resources and partnerships. But if their workers can't get internationally recognized AI credentials, they'll be locked out of global opportunities. Some countries may need to swallow their pride and partner with OpenAI, essentially accepting American dominance in AI education. Now let's talk about the business model, because understanding how OpenAI plans to make money from this reveals a lot about their true intentions. While they haven't announced pricing details, we can make educated guesses based on industry standards and their partnerships. Individual certifications will likely cost between $50 and $200 each, similar to other professional certification programs. But the real money is in enterprise subscriptions. Large companies like Walmart will probably pay between $10,000 and $100,000 annually for access to the platform, training modules, and analytics about their workforce development. There's also the data goldmine. OpenAI will have unprecedented insight into global AI skills demand, salary trends, and workforce gaps. This information is incredibly valuable to recruiters, consulting firms, and governments. They could easily generate millions in revenue just by selling aggregated workforce intelligence. But the most lucrative opportunity might be premium placement. Just like Google makes money from ads alongside search results, OpenAI could charge companies to feature their job postings more prominently or to get priority access to newly certified candidates. When you control the platform, you control the economics. This creates interesting competitive dynamics. LinkedIn won't just roll over and die. They're already expanding their AI skills assessments and will likely partner with OpenAI's competitors to offer alternative certification paths. Indeed, Coursera and Udacity will all need to adapt or risk becoming irrelevant. The key question is whether OpenAI can achieve network effects before competitors catch up. Network effects mean that the platform becomes more valuable as more people use it. More candidates attract more employers, which attracts more candidates, creating a virtuous cycle that's nearly impossible to break. If OpenAI reaches this tipping point, they could dominate AI job matching for decades. But if competitors move quickly enough, We might see a fragmented market with multiple platforms competing for different segments. Enterprise clients might use OpenAI while startups prefer more affordable alternatives. Different industries might gravitate toward specialized platforms. Geographic regions might develop their own preferred systems. The stakes couldn't be higher because this isn't just about one company's success. It's about the fundamental structure of the future economy. Whoever controls AI talent development and placement will have enormous influence over which companies succeed, which industries grow, and even which countries prosper. So what should you actually do with this information? Whether you're an individual worker, a business owner, or just someone trying to understand where the world is heading, there are concrete steps you can take. If you're an employee, the time to start building AI skills is now, not when OpenAI's platform launches. Focus on understanding how AI can enhance your specific role rather than just learning generic chatbot interactions. A marketing professional should learn how AI can improve campaign targeting and content creation. An accountant should understand how AI can automate reconciliation and detect anomalies. A teacher should explore how AI can personalize learning and grade assignments. The most valuable skills won't be technical programming abilities. They'll be the human judgment needed to work effectively with AI systems. This includes prompt engineering, which is the art of communicating clearly with AI to get useful results. It includes knowing when to trust AI recommendations and when to override them. It includes understanding the ethical implications of AI decisions in your field. For business owners, the priority should be auditing your current workforce to identify roles that would benefit most from AI augmentation. Don't try to transform everything at once. Pick one or two high-impact areas where AI could clearly improve productivity or decision-making. Then invest in training those specific teams. Consider running pilot programs with a small group of employees before committing to large-scale training initiatives. The goal is to learn what works in your specific context before the market becomes saturated with AI-trained workers who may command premium salaries. But here's my honest assessment of where this is all heading. OpenAI's jobs platform represents one of the most ambitious attempts to reshape labor markets in modern history. The combination of technological capability, political support, and corporate partnerships gives them a real shot at success. But the risks are enormous, both for them and for society. The optimistic scenario is that this democratizes access to AI skills, helps workers transition to new roles, and creates a more efficient job market where talent finds the right opportunities faster. Companies get better matches for their needs, workers get better career paths, and the economy becomes more productive. The pessimistic scenario is that this creates new forms of inequality and control. Workers become dependent on OpenAI's certification for career advancement. The platform becomes a bottleneck that limits rather than expands opportunities. Countries and companies that can't afford premium access get left behind. The benefits flow primarily to those who already have advantages. The realistic scenario is probably somewhere in between. OpenAI's platform will likely succeed in creating value for many workers and employers, but it won't be the panacea they're promising. Other platforms will emerge to serve different niches. Governments will intervene to ensure more equitable access. The market will eventually find a balance between efficiency and fairness. But one thing is certain: the transformation is happening whether we're ready or not. AI is already changing how work gets done in every industry. The question isn't whether to engage with this change, but how to engage thoughtfully and strategically. My advice is to start building AI literacy now. But don't put all your eggs in OpenAI's basket. Diversify your learning across multiple platforms and sources. Focus on developing the uniquely human skills that complement AI rather than compete with it. And stay informed about these developments because they're moving faster than most people realize. The future of work isn't something that happens to us. It's something we actively shape through the choices we make today. OpenAI is making their bet on how that future should look. Now it's time for the rest of us to make ours. What do you think? Is this the breakthrough that finally makes AI accessible to everyone? Or is it a sophisticated attempt to corner the market on human potential? Are you excited about the opportunities this creates, or worried about the control it concentrates? Let me know in the comments. And if this analysis was helpful, subscribe for more deep dives into the stories that are quietly reshaping our world. Because as we've seen today, the most important changes often happen not with dramatic announcements, but with strategic moves that only make sense when you connect all the dots. And in the AI economy, understanding those connections might be the most valuable skill of all.